Hello everyone, I'm Marina and it's Sakramel School. One of the most popular manicure types is a combined manicure. It combines working with an e-file and manual tools. In this video, I will show you how to do it properly in a macro shooting mode. I'm sure it will be really exciting. Watch the video till the end, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. Before doing a manicure, I'm checking the condition of a client's hands and cuticles. I can see that this cuticle is thin and the lateral folds are wet. These factors mean that a combined manicure will be perfect for us. Lift the cuticle with a pusher before starting to work with an e-file. First, I push the skin using its spatula side. And then, I use a rectangular side to clean out the pterygium with short progressive moves. This dry method will help us to work with an e-file less, so there is a lower risk to drill through the nail plate later. If the cuticle is badly stuck to the nail plate, then use an orange stick instead of a pusher. It will lift up the cuticle more gently. It's important that the pusher should slide freely over the nail plate. If you come across something similar to pterygium, probably it's not pterygium, but a nail plate cut from the previous manicure. I want you to keep in mind that the sinuses are always the most dangerous areas if the clients have such thin and wet cuticle. I'm going to process them very carefully, so they don't get injured. The next important point, which drill bit should be used for this and which abrasive should be chosen. I can see that my model's skin is thin and the capillaries are close. Therefore, I'm choosing a red drill bit, which is called a flame, because its shape reminds of a candle flame. For the text, it's the most convenient bit for lifting up the cuticle and processing the sidewalls, since it has a large working surface. The bit diameter is 0.21 or 0.23, which is 2.1 mm and 2.3 mm. If your client's nail plate isn't deeply set and the lateral folds don't protrude, then you can use 0.23 bit. But if the folds are large, then it's better to take 0.211. I'm visually dividing the nail in half, placing the bit diagonally from the middle, so that the tip goes under the cuticle. And I make short progressive moves of 2 to 3 mm with the bit surface. Made a 2 mm step and went back again. This way, every move provides us with a clean pocket under the cuticle. I'm processing the sinus with short moves. The bit is pressed to the skin. The moves should be fast and accurate. Long ones can injure the skin. Don't make long moves in the sinus zone. Remember, the longer the move, the deeper the bit gets into the nail, and the higher is the risk to drill through. In order to process the skin and the side sinuses, I need to turn my client's fingers to the side. Pull the lateral folds well, and move the drill bit over the skin without touching the nail plate. Because touching the nail will cause cracks in the gross points due to the thinning of the sidewalls. Once the sidewall has been cleaned, we start to process the lateral fold, moving the bit's surface to the side and perpendicularly down to clean out the dry skin. If your client has very dry lateral folds, then you should use a blue drill bit. It can be a flame, it can be a cone, or any other bit that you like to work with. I continue to lift up the cuticle and process the sinus by the same method. Same with the side sinuses and the folds on other nails. All left sides are processed in the forward position. I turn the finger to the side and process the sinus. The bit will slide on the skin instead of touching the nail. It's important to pull the skin back very well in every area where you are working. If your client feels discomfort and burning during processing, reduce the speed of the e-file. After working on the left side, I'm switching the rotation direction to reverse and starting to work on the right side. At the same speed, in the reverse position. This time, I'm placing the bit parallel to the cuticle and open it even more with the surface of the bit. I'm often asked, is it fine to touch the nail plate? Yes, it is, because there is a pterygium on it, a pellicle that lies on the nail plate. But there should be no pressure. Right-handed nail techs aren't comfortable processing the right sinus. It's not easy. We can take the finger with an upper grip and pull the cuticle back diagonally, and then we'll be able to easily reach this area and see what we are working with. Moving on to the side sinus and smoothing out the lateral fold. Wet skin clogs up the bit much faster with dust, so in order to clean the bit, I stab the side of the nail buffer with it and it gets cleaned. I continue to process the rest of the nails from the right side, in the reverse position. I don't stick to one place for too long to avoid burning. Don't be afraid to set 15 to 17,000 RPM. Don't slow it down, because this will increase the chance of drilling through the nail plate. The bit won't slide on the surface, it will dig into it and drill through. If you see something white when processing the side sinus, don't overdo. Don't overfile the skin or the nail plate. Maybe it's just dust and it will be gone after your client washes their hands. If you file out 100% of this white thing, it may cause a lateral onycholysis, a detachment of the nail from the nail bed. I work with a stand. The light falls under the cuticle, and I can see the surface being processed. It's very important. Many nail techs work almost blindly. They don't see the surface, and the drill-throughs appear because of it. The cuticle should look like this before trimming with the cutting tool. The cuticle is separated, the pocket is clean, and nothing prevents it from being cut. I like to buff the nail surface after lifting the cuticle. It will remove some extra skin bits and pieces that you probably have missed at the e-filing stage. For cutting, I use tweezer scissors. They work like tweezers. It's much easier to replace the nippers with tweezer scissors. The cut is performed in a single piece, with no hangnails. I bring the lower blade under the cuticle and hide it there. Hold the scissors perpendicularly to the nail plate while cutting. Don't put them on the proximal nail fold or the nail plate. This way, we won't get the result we need. I'm cutting the cuticle, 2-3 millimeters. If the scissors get stuck under the cuticle instead of sliding, this means that a part of the skin is still sticking to the nail plate. I don't take the scissors out of the cut, so there are no hangnails. I turn the finger towards the cut. When I plan to finish the cut, I lift the blade tips upwards and the cuticle falls off by itself. Don't tear it off, because there will be a hangnail in this area. If there are any tiny hangnails left, I refine them, but very carefully, in order not to injure. I have a detailed video on my channel on how to cut the cuticle with scissors. After cutting the cuticle, I proceed with shaping the nails. I find the shortest nail plate or the nail with the longest nail bed, and I start filing from it. We decided to go with a square shape. I'm placing the file perpendicular to the nail's tip and making long moves in both directions. After that, I put the finger on the side and place the file under the nail to get a straight line from the nail growth point, and on the other side. I soften the corners a little, turn a hand away, and check the symmetry. I place the nails cuticle to cuticle and compare the lengths. 3 nails should be of the same length. But if one nail is wider, we can increase its length by 1 mm. I'm buffing under the nail plate to remove filing leftovers, removing dust, and dehydrating the nail plate. Now we can enjoy the result of a combined manicure. Applying a dehydrator all over the nail plate and a primer to improve bonding. There are small splits on the nail plate, and I can see that the previous gel polish peeled off, so I don't skip the primer stage. Since my model has strong nails, I've chosen the Uni-Strong base. Aligning the nail plate, tilt the finger slightly down so the materials don't leak into the cuticle. First, I'm covering the nail plate in 3 moves to moisturize it. I'm grabbing a very small drop for alignment because the architecture of my model's nails is already perfect. But a bit of volume will make the gel polish last longer and keep the nails from breaking. Spreading the material on the sides, fixing the highlight with a thin brush if necessary. If the highlight is even, I put the nails into the lamp for 60 seconds. I'm doing alignment on the rest of the nails. Today, I'm going to do a very nice but simple design. The main color is blue, Lovely 52. Before applying the color, I'm pushing back the cuticle so I can paint under it. I'm tilting the model's finger down so there are no leaks. I'm painting the central part of the nail plate and the sides. After that, I'm fanning my brush like this and pulling the cuticle. I need the light to fall under the cuticle, and I'm painting under it, opening the brush fan-like. Smoothing the color coating with long moves, then curing in the lamp. Applying a second layer more densely. At this stage, I don't fan my brush under the cuticle, because the color will flow there on its own over a deeply painted first layer. I always smooth out the color with long moves from the cuticle to the free edge. And the brush should lie parallel to the nail plate. This way, you can apply the color evenly and with no gaps. I apply dark blue gel polish on a palette. I have a special brush which is used to create a dotted design. I'm dipping the brush in gel polish, squeezing it several times on the palette, and dotting the surface. I also put the drops with a thin brush in the areas where I need them. Sometimes this design is called a quail egg. I want to add a glitter design in the cuticle area. I'm putting a small drop of a liquid base on the palette, adding glitter, and mixing it all together. You can use golden gel polish instead of the glitter, yucca flakes, foil, or anything else. I have a wide range of dry glitter in my collection. I'm sure you have many too. Often we don't know where to use them, so I think it's great we can use them for such fun designs. I'm painting a triangle near the cuticle with this material. Don't lay it out too thick, because you will need to cover it with a top coat. Now curing our design for 30 seconds and applying a top without a tacky layer and a matte top for the nails with the design. If you did an alignment of the nail plate, then at the end, after curing the top, you can file the free edge to make it sharper. Here's the finished result. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Use this technique, I'm sure you can do it too. Success in your work. Bye bye!